Hello and welcome. Your average driver here with your average track guide to Trial Mountain. Don't go anywhere. I'm in the Group 4 GTR on racing medium tires. BOP is set to medium as well. Let's get right to turn 1. Our first brake marker is the orange barrier on the left. Just dab the brakes. Be sure to start turning before the end of this curb on the right and careful not to cut the apex. You will get a penalty. A quick note, I tried both 4th and 5th gears in turn 1. 5th seems to be the best. You can use 4th, but if you shift too early, you'll bounce off the rev limiter and you will lose time. Try to exit around the middle of the track. If you get too deep, you won't be able to do the next 2 corners full throttle. Into the first of the tunnels, brake just before the entrance. Careful trail braking too heavily in the GTR. It has a tendency to understeer. During the race, you will see these signs on the wall. Just as the end of the signage appears, begin rolling on throttle. The signs aren't there in practice, so you can use this light vertical section of concrete instead. After the tunnel, immediately move left. I'm looking for this first big rock. It's kind of pointy. Brake just as it hits the edge of your screen. Again, straight line your braking here. As you turn into the apex, I'm picking up 2 trees close together. I call the goalposts. As they come into view, roll on the throttle. You should be at full throttle just as you clip the apex. The car will hold the turn. Keeping left now, my brake marker is the end of the curbing here, directing the car toward the middle of the track as I straight line the braking. You can then apply power early. I was slightly early on this lap as I try to wait until after passing this big rock, understeering just a touch. I try to avoid crossing the center line too much in order to position correctly for the next turn. This is a tricky one as there's very little to reference as a brake marker. Depending on your monitor settings, you may not be able to see this. There is a slightly darker patch of tarmac across the road. I look for that and just dab the brakes. In race traffic, I cheat a little bit and brake before the floating yellow line marker. Get as far over to the left as possible. The camber of the turn will help you rotate the car. You can run over this dirt or whatever that is without issue and down all the important back straight. You'll probably be the victim of a slipstream overtake at some point, so be prepared for traffic and dive bombing at the end of this straight. Jumping ahead, this road sign is your brake marker just as it leaves your screen. Down to 3rd, slightly roll the car. But right around this rock, you can also use the tree if you had to take a wider line. Roll into the throttle and the all-wheel drive will hold you around the corner. Moving just left of center to set up your line through the S's. At the crest of the hill, brake just as you pass this tree stump. Pausing at the apex, I dropped a 2nd gear briefly. As this sign comes into view, begin rolling onto the throttle. Short shifting into 3rd will help rotate the car. The next brake marker is more big rocks. I played with 2nd and 3rd gear in this corner. 2nd helps keep the revs up, but may need a short shift depending on your cornering speed. It is a downhill braking zone and tough to rotate the car into that apex. Keeping right past pit lane entrance, look for these markings on the wall. Alternatively, you can use the advertising on the left side of the track as your brake marker. Turning prior to the end of the curb, dropping all the way to 1st gear, exit as left as possible. Your turn-in for the last corner is crucial. You want to run over this curb as much as you can. There is a small mound inside the curb which can toss you toward the Armco if you cut it too much. And on top of all of that, you have to be mindful of this car's tendency to understeer. Keep left down the straight for qualifying. Watch for the slipstream during a race. With a little more practice, I know I have a sub 2-minute lap in me. That is all for today. If you enjoyed this track guide, please like this video and hit that subscribe button. I'd really appreciate that. I will see you soon with another video. Thanks for watching.